biggest mistakes I see when people start building a home, and that's having champagne taste on a beer budget and not realizing it until it's too late. And the tricky part is, it usually doesn't show up until you're already emotionally attached and invested to our floor plan. And by then, it's really hard to pivot. So, in this video, I want to walk you through why this happens and how to avoid it before you get too far in. Hi, I'm Heather. I'm a realtor here in the Nashville area with Drees Homes, and I help people build semi-custom homes on their own land. And I've also built my own Drees Homes, so I've been on both sides of the process. And if you're thinking about building, make sure to like and subscribe. I break this process down in a real practical way so you know what to expect before you get too far into it. And listen, I say this with love because we've all done it. You start scrolling, saving homes you love, picturing your future house. You're thinking about where the couch is gonna go or what your kitchen's gonna look like. And in your mind, you're like, okay, this is doable. But what most people don't realize is what you're looking at online is the base price of the home, along with photos of completed homes to give you good examples, but they're going to show various upgrades throughout the home. So a lot of the photos you see, especially of model homes or the professional photos we use, are showing upgraded versions. So you're not just looking at a floor plan, you're looking at a fully designed version of that plan. And that difference matters more than people expect. So what happens is you pick your floor plan based on that starting price, and it feels like it works. But then you start layering in real life, the kitchen you actually want, the finishes you actually want, and maybe a few structural or a few custom changes. And that's when the numbers start climbing fast. Let me give you a really quick example of where I see this happen all the time. Number one is usually the kitchen. Things like cabinets to the ceiling, adding a working pantry if there isn't already one, built-in appliances like a larger fridge and a 48-inch range. Those are the kinds of things that people are starting to picture when they're thinking about building a new home. But they're not always included and they can add up quickly. Another one is that surprises people can be garage spaces. Some floor plans come with 2-car garage, some with 3, but a lot of buyers these days are wanting 3, 4, 5, sometimes detached garages depending on their storage needs or hobbies. And once you start expanding that, it becomes more of a custom change, which can impact the cost more than expected. And it's not something people always think about until later. And then trim, like the detail work, things like built-in shelving, upgraded trim, accent walls. These are things that really elevate a home, and they're not all things that are included. So when you start thinking about these types of decisions and stacking them upon each other, that's where the budget can shift quickly. And sometimes it's not even the big things. It's a lot of the little things that start to add up, like not just upgrading cabinets, but adding better flooring, changing countertops, doing some new tile design, adding some built-ins. Individually, they don't sound huge, but together, they can definitely add up pretty quickly. And this is usually the moment where people go, wait, how did I get here? And that's where that champagne taste on a beer budget moment happens. And again, no judgment, it happens all the time and to the best of us. Let's talk included features. Our homes will come with nice included features, but it's not all inclusive. Every buyer is different, every home is different, and no two homes are going to come out exactly the same. So set aside a certain part of your budget for upgrades. And if you're not sure what's included, that's one of the first questions you should be asking before you fall in love with anything. Another reason this happens is because included features can vary way more than people expect. It can vary by builder, by location, by the community, and even the specific floor plan. So, for example, here at Drees Homes, our included features can look a little different depending on whether you're building in one of our communities or on your own land somewhere, and exactly which floor plan you are building. So, two homes that look the same online can actually start at a very different price point, and that's where a lot of the confusion can start to happen because people assume they're comparing the same thing, apples to apples, when they're not, which means what you think is included might actually be an upgrade. And that's where budgets can quietly start slipping. And this is honestly where I try to guide my clients a little differently, because I do have a design background and I pay really close attention to what those design trends are, what things typically cost, where people tend to spend more, and what actually makes the biggest difference in a home. I've seen where people are really glad they spent the money, and I've also seen where people maybe I could have just saved that cost and done something differently. So even if I'm not doing the full design selections with you, I can help you think through a lot of those items that are going to add up. So, like, is this important to you? This is what that's going to look budget-wise. Because the goal isn't just to pick a house you love, it's to actually finish it the way you're picturing it. And I actually had a conversation recently with somebody who was over budget by about $200,000, which is quite a lot. And interestingly enough, that was what the cost of their land was too. And when you really look into it, it really makes you wonder what that exact expectation was, because either they thought the land was included or that they could add all the upgrades to the home and it wasn't going to cost anything. And again, it's not like it's a bad decision or anything. They just didn't really understand the process. Now, I've also seen on the flip side too, where clients slowed everything down, really looked at the numbers early, and try to make those decisions before they got too far in. And those builds feel completely different. They're calmer, they're more confident, and there's not all that stress of trying to backtrack later. And even for me personally, when I built my own Drees home, I had to go through the same process. I originally thought I needed to stay in a certain range, just be at a certain size, because that was the price point I needed to be at. But once I understood what was actually included with that plan versus other plans, I realized I could actually shift my plan, get something much larger, something that would fit my overall needs for a much longer point of time, and not much impact on the budget. So that really worked for me, but that's because I understood the full picture and not just the starting price. So here's what I would recommend: 5 simple steps for things for you to keep in mind in that early planning stage. Number 1, don't lock into just one plan. Have a couple options that could work. Don't get emotionally attached too early. There's usually more than one floor plan or layout that can fit your lifestyle. Number 2, watch out for your top of your budget plans. If something already feels like your max budget, just know you're probably not looking at that final number yet. There's almost always going to be more stuff layered in. And number 3, leave room for upgrades. Give yourself space for the things that are going to matter to you later, because those are the things that make your house feel like your home. Number 4, think beyond the plan. It's not just about the floor plan, it's about upgrades, site costs, extra concrete, everything else that comes with building. Number 5, understand what's actually included. And with this one, you need to take the time to really understand what's included with the home, what's not included, so you know what you're building. It really helps set that right expectation. And that one step can save you from a lot of surprises later. This is one of those things that seems small, but it makes a huge difference in your final number. All these decisions may feel small in the beginning, but it affects your entire build. And if you want to understand the full numbers behind building in the Nashville or Franklin area, I've got a full cost breakdown video that you need to check out. And if you're at that early stage, just trying to figure out what makes sense for your budget, this is exactly where I help my clients before they get too far into something that doesn't fit. So, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to walk you through it. In the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. I've got a lot more coming that I'll walk you through this entire process step by step. And in the meantime, thanks for watching.